First of all, I'd like to thank all of you for coming to pay tribute to our mother, and we have quite a few people to thank that helped her with her journey through life. And I'd like to introduce her sister Barbara and her husband Dale and my cousins Kathy and Mike, who came all the way from far places to celebrate my mom's funeral today in Rosary. So I want to thank you guys for coming. My mother was, I always thought my father was the toughest human being on earth. He was a football coach and Marine sergeant, and after seeing what my mother went through, she's by far the toughest person I ever met in my entire life. She had the strength and faith and the will to live more than anybody I've ever known in my life, and she couldn't have done it alone. She needed the help by quite a few people, and none more than her doctors, Dr. Patel, Dr. Cousins, Georgia, her nurse, Danielle, her caregivers, Rosie, Veronica, Lori. What a staff that she had, that around-the-clock care was always there to help her out and boost her up. But I'll tell you, when I was sitting there, I was looking at my mom, and I couldn't help but think, I had so many great memories of Mom growing up, but the one that kept coming up to me, I was playing basketball when I was about 10, and she heard me say a bad word. And she brought me into the kitchen, and she says, "I'm going to wash your mouth out with soap." And I know you're shocked that I was ever in trouble, but she reached for the bar of soap and it slipped out of her hand. She reached for the bar of soap, it slipped out of her hand, and then she took a bottle of green Palmolive liquid soap and dumped it in my mouth. And I've had bubbles for 50 years. I'm telling you, it's, that's what she also, if you remember Craig, we lived in Westchester, and it was a new housing development, and a lot of kids on the street, a lot of boys, and we played Army one day, and there were holes where they dug for the pipes and the plumbing and things, and I captured Craig, because he was pretty easy to capture back then, but I captured Craig and I put him in a wooden crate and I wired it closed, and then I found some hot tar, and I put some hot tar on that beautiful blonde hair, and my mom found out, and she took, you know, nowadays I think she'd get sued, but she took all 8 of us down to the barber shop and cut all our hair off, because Craig had to have his hair cut off too. So, you know, that's the kind of mom she was. She ruled the neighborhood, and she was a great person. So those are some things. She was tough, but she was great. There are many dear friends, Tiffany, Dolores Richmond, none more than Jana and Margaret Schulte, who took my mom to chemo on a weekly basis. Pat Scrable. Pat came and visited my dad every day, and he did the same thing for my mom, and I forgot to tell Pat that my mom likes to talk politics, and so they would argue conservative and that, and my mom's claim to fame, she's the only liberal Democrat in Bakersfield, and for that we pray. We'd also like to thank Jenny Desmay and Mary Canetta, did my mom's nails and hair. I swear every time I came down, Mom's hair was done, nails looking good. She always wanted to make sure she was in good presence, and you guys did a beautiful job on her, and that's one thing about my mom. She always wanted to look proper at all these places. I'd also like to thank all the St.Francis community, because without you, I don't know what we would do, because they provided so many meals and support for my brother, and don't forget him, because he'll need it now. It's amazing what this community did. Every day for 14 months, you guys provided meals for her and support and love, and we truly, truly appreciate that. Let me see here. The Sisters of Guadalupe, every time they came, my mom lit up, and it didn't matter if she had a bad chemo day or a great day. it was so supportive, and we're so appreciative of all the people doing that. And the last one I'd like to thank, and not the least, is my brother. Not too many people would take both their mother and father in and nurse them and provide the dedicated love and support and help. Susan, I thank you for, we're so appreciative that you're a man of the word and you live by that, and we both really appreciate that. I will tell you though, I'll never stay at your house because the last two visitors ended up here and I'm not going to be here. I'm just telling you. Think about it, it's true. You said, come on, live. I'm not going to do that. My mom had a keen sense of humor, and my brother and I received that gene, and I'm very proud of that. She wrote her own obituary, and I have to clear that up a little bit too, because if you read the obituary, it said she got married in 1949, graduated from high school in 1951, graduated from college in 55. That's true, and high school's true, but she married my dad in 1955, so I want to stop the papers and the rumors that she did not get married at 16. That we're aware of. Want to thank everybody again for coming, and I know both Craig and I and Susan are so lucky that we had parents that were real involved in the community, not just in my dad in teaching, but my mom also, and they affected so many students and friends and people, and that's what my mom said she wanted to be remembered as, is someone that gave back, and I think both of them lived their life to the fullest, and we are very proud to call both of them our parents, even though both of them are now gone after, it's 9 months since my father passed away. So it's been quite a year for Susan and Craig and I and the family, and again, we appreciate all your love and support, and especially the St. Francis community, because like I said, without you, I don't know where we would be. I personally would like to invite you all for the service tomorrow. It's going to be 10 o'clock here, and again, thank you for coming, and my mom knows everybody in here. She knew everybody in here, and she'd give you a hug if she could, and thank you very much.
Again, we want to thank everyone, in a special way too. My brother went through a lot of people, and there's so many people we could personally name, but we really want to also thank Mike and Stacy Clarkson. Mike is, my mother would say, is my other son, and they've walked and journeyed with us through all of this. My mom said to me on Thursday, she said, you got to find something positive about me dying. And I said, well, Mom, I think you're going to finally get to see Nancy and Jeffrey and Dad again. She goes, you have to go deeper. I said, you're going to see your Lord finally. Of all these things, all your questions and everything are going to be answered. And she said, no, Craig, you got to go deeper. She goes, you got to find something positive. And I finally said, okay, there will be one less Democrat in our world. And she smiled.